Welcome back to Trading Psychology Journal. If you're a trader, you've probably experienced this feeling many times. Every time you open a chart, your mind immediately starts looking for a trading opportunity. You scan the charts, check your indicators, watch the candles and tell yourself, I have to enter a trade as soon as I see an opportunity. And while this might feel natural, it's actually the main reason many traders fall into overtrading. Take a moment to pause and think. Every time you open a chart, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for a reason to enter a trade, or are you looking for a reason not to enter? Most traders, whether beginners or even experienced, are conditioned to treat every chart opening as a chance to find a trade. They approach the market thinking, I need to find an opportunity. When they see a nice setup, they enter, and that's fine. But the problem arises when there isn't a good setup, or the setup doesn't fully meet their criteria, yet the trader still feels compelled to trade. Why does this happen? Because your mind is used to searching for trading opportunities every time you open a chart. Once you set the goal of trading, no matter what the market signals say, this mindset pulls you into trades that don't meet your quality standards. You enter trades out of impulse, not principle, and that is the root cause of overtrading, of consecutive losses that you might not understand. So, how can you break this cycle? The solution is simple, but extremely effective. Do the opposite of your current habit. Instead of opening the chart to find a reason to trade, open the chart and look for reasons not to trade. Sounds strange, right? Imagine every time you open a chart, you no longer ask yourself, can I enter a trade? Instead you ask, do I have a reason not to trade? From this single question, everything begins to change. You start paying attention to the signals and rules you've set. If a trade doesn't meet the conditions, if the setup isn't precise, or if the signals don't align with your rules, you don't enter the trade. You take your eyes off the chart, do something else, and you don't feel deprived or regretful because you followed your rules. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're a trend-following trader. Your rule is to enter a trade only when the price is above the MA200, the trend is confirmed by MACD, and you avoid trading in a sideways market. If every time you open a chart you're searching for a trade, you might overlook these signals. You might convince yourself, well, maybe this trade will do. And so you enter trades that don't meet your conditions, increasing your risk of losses. But if you practice the opposite approach, every time you open a chart you ask, do I have a reason not to trade? Everything changes. You look at the chart, see the price is below May 200, MACD isn't aligned, the market is sideways. All these are reasons not to trade. You lift your eyes from the chart, go do something else, and feel a sense of satisfaction. You are following your rules. This is exactly the mindset all successful traders apply. They don't chase every small opportunity, they don't get caught up in the urge to trade. Instead, they filter, wait patiently, and only enter trades when all conditions align. Another key part of this strategy is rewarding yourself every time you resist a trade that doesn't meet your rules. It may sound strange, but psychology shows that if you reward yourself for following rules, this behavior gets reinforced. You feel happy and satisfied for exercising discipline rather than frustrated for not trading. Imagine this. You open the chart, there's no suitable opportunity. You close the chart and reward yourself, maybe with a cup of coffee, a minute of meditation, or a few minutes listening to your favorite music. You're training your brain to recognize that following your rules is more important than chasing every trade. Over time, the trades you take will be higher quality, and overtrading will decrease significantly. You will no longer feel compelled to trade every time you open a chart. You will become a patient, disciplined, and effective trader. One important point to remember, you don't have to look for opportunities all the time. On the contrary, you are looking for opportunities not to trade. And that, in itself, is the greatest opportunity. Just one signal that doesn't align with your rules is enough to stop you, avoid the trade, and continue observing. This is how you maintain discipline and minimize risk. To make this approach a habit, create a checklist for every time you open a chart. Your checklist might include, is the price above or below MA200? Does the main trend align with your setup? Do MACD, RSI, or other indicators confirm the signal? Is the market sideways or excessively volatile? If the answer to any of these questions is no, you don't enter a trade. That's it. By practicing consistently, you'll notice your trades have a higher probability of success, lower risk, and your trading psychology becomes much more stable. Another key point, the feeling of not wanting to trade is actually a good signal. When you feel the urge to trade, refer back to your checklist and look for reasons not to trade. Often, the desire to trade comes from FOMO, the hope that I have to do something, not from market signals. When you know how to stop, you are in control of your mind, which is the most important trait of any successful trader. Try applying this method today. Every time you open a chart, don't look for trades, look for reasons not to trade. If there isn't a strong enough reason to trade, close the chart and do something else. Every time you follow your rules, reward yourself. Keep track of your results to see improvements in discipline and mindset. With this method, you'll realize that even when you don't trade, you are trading successfully because you're protecting your capital, maintaining discipline, and avoiding unnecessary trades. Remember, overtrading isn't caused by a lack of skill or strategy, but by the mindset of wanting to trade all the time. When you learn to find reasons not to trade, you reverse the old pattern and build a smarter, more sustainable trading habit. Finally, let me emphasize this. Trading isn't about chasing every opportunity. It's about patiently waiting for the best opportunities and sticking to your rules. Every time you open a chart, remind yourself, today I'm looking for reasons not to trade. When you do this, you'll notice a profound shift in your mindset and trading results. So, start today. Open your chart. Don't look for trades. Look for reasons not to trade. You'll see overtrading gradually decrease. The trades you take will be higher quality. And most importantly, you will be in control of your mind. Thank you for following Trading Psychology Journal. If you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more trading psychology tips that help you trade effectively and sustainably. Remember, success in trading doesn't come from the number of trades you take. It comes from the quality and discipline of each trade. Every time you open a chart, look for reasons not to trade, and you'll see that trading can actually be enjoyable, controlled, and more rewarding than ever.